Hello, good evening. How's everyone doing? I think we'll wait for a couple more minutes to see who else joining in. And then we'll get started. And I'm going to get myself here as well so that I can see. Okay, first of all, a big thank you to Amul for reaching out to all passionate home chefs in India to bring you all our love of cooking and sharing some of our recipes that we make with our beloved Amul products. Every single household, I think, in India has the butter. If not anything, at least the butter and cheese is like the thing that's stocked in the fridge, at least in our fridge, always and forever. So we're going to use some everyday Amul things that are easily accessible. Most people, I think, have them in the fridge, so that's why I'm going to use them today to show you 2.5 things or 3. So I'll just run you over what we're going to make. So we're going to make something called as a compound butter. I absolutely love butter that's mixed up with spices, with flavors, to sit in my fridge and waiting for me when I'm ready, so that I can just pull that out and then use it for the dishes that I make, and I'll tell you more about it. So बहुत सारे concoctions बन सकते हैं with just simple Amul butter and then a few other ingredients, sweet or savory, mixed in the butter. So we're going to do that. I'm going to show you 2 household favorite flavors of ours. And then I'm going to do a savory tart, and then I'm going to do a sweet healthy tart. Okay, so should we get cooking? Should we get ready? Do we have people? Hi Jyotsna, hi Manisha, Mala, Sheetal. Alright, so the first thing what we're going to do is do the compound butter. We'll start with that, and I'll show you what we need for the compound butter. Really easy. We're going to do 2 different types of butter, sweet and savory. So we've got butter here at room temperature so that it's easy to mix. We've got cinnamon, raisin and some powdered sugar. So that's going to be our cinnamon raisin butter. You know, the cinnamon raisin bread, the cinnamon raisin cinnabons. I mean, most of the times we don't have time to make those fancy breads. But if we've got this butter, toast low, uske upar dalo, and you've got an instant cinnamon toast ready for you. And then the other one that we're going to do is an olives, garlic, some oregano, Italian mixed herb, whatever you want to do, and that's it. And then this savory one I often use for steamed vegetables, for pastas, for the meats, but the endless possibilities hai. Okay, so I'm going to show you quickly how to make this. And we need a parchment paper जिसमें हम रोल करेंगे टॉफी के जैसे. तो पहले हम हमारा savory वाला start करते हैं. So here I have chopped up olives and some garlic, and I'm going to do a little bit of mixed herbs. Okay, you give it a really good mix. This already smells good. I mean, Amul butter is amazing in itself, but if you add these extra things to it, it just becomes super amazing. So I'm just making a small batch to show you, but you should maybe double the recipe and keep some in the fridge. It stays for months together, so that it's ready when you're ready. बहुत सारी चीज़ों में ये herbed butters use हो सकते हैं, कोई भी spices डाल सकते हैं. So that's our herbed butter. Now we take cinnamon, raisin, our household favorite flavor. उसके अंदर थोड़ा सा powdered sugar, because this is the salty butter, so we're gonna add the sugar, थोड़ा सा cinnamon, but make sure like you don't skimp on the cinnamon, because this is what really flavors it, flavors the butter. So generously आपका वो cinnamon, and then raisins. And then again, mix. Oh. and then test and taste before you actually put it out to rest, to make sure उसमें थोड़ा sugar चाहिए या spices चाहिए, what is missing in it, to have a delicious butter waiting for you. So we'll also do a little taste test to make sure the flavors are delicious, so that tomorrow for my breakfast, for our kids and us, we can have some cinnamon butter on our toast. So we need a little bit more cinnamon. Give it a really good mix. That's done. Let's taste that. Already tasting good thanks to the garlic and the olives. And that's all there is to it. Let me clean my counter. Put this away. Now I'll show you how to wrap it up. Parchment paper is a must. Butter paper, parchment paper, whatever you want to call it. Take a bit of it. Lay it out like that. And then we're going to just place the butter here, and we're going to make a little log of it. And इसको आप फ्रिज में रख दो, so that the butter can come back to its original thick consistency. If you were here and you could smell the cinnamon, it will be like you're having cinnamons, That's how lovely this is smelling right now.
Gali is saying don't lick your fingers.
It's just me. If you were here, you'll know how good it is and you won't be able to resist. Okay, so you pat it down so that it's a nice log. Take the help of your spatula and इसको एक log के जैसे, toffee के जैसे इसको बना लेंगे. Bring it together. And once it's in the fridge, it hardens, and all of this, it doesn't look as messy, because we'll show you how it looks. And then you take both of these and then you make a nice little round like that. Bring it together like a toffee. Roll that up. And there you've got, and shape it up like a log. Looks really fancy when you want to do a nice breakfast, and then you can, hotels you get these round, when you go to hotels you get these little butter plates, and they've got these discs of fancy butter in their own dish. So this is what, if you're in a mood to be fancy for a breakfast or brunch, you make these fancy compound butters, and then once it's hardened up, you can slice them up into roundels and serve them. Just, it becomes really fancy. So you get the idea. This is what we do with this as well. Okay, and then I'm going to stick this in the fridge. And the next recipe that we're going to do, उसमें ये हम दोनों butter use करेंगे. So I'm going to actually show you two recipes to use these butters, and then the possibilities are endless. It's up to your imagination how you want to use these for other things. Okay, so let me stick this in the fridge and clear up for the next delicious recipe. Do you have any questions? Anybody wanting to know anything?
Some people are having trouble listening.
They're having trouble listening? Can you hear? Can everyone hear me? Please say yes, no, show me a thumbs up. Amul items ही नहीं मिल रहे मैडम. ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? Amul is the taste of India. It's everywhere. Look at us. We've got a pantry stocked always. Maybe maybe just one of those days where maybe it's not in the locality. What else? Looks like everyone's. Okay, can everyone hear me? Yes, alright, so we'll go on to the next recipe. Now the next recipe is a savory tart, and the base of it is going to be oats, and and so it's going to be healthy, okay? And I'll just go over the ingredients so that you sort of get an idea what I'm doing here. So for the base, I'm going to use oats, and look at this gorgeous butter. Can we see that close up? Yeah. So that's the olive and garlic butter that I've made and kept earlier. That's what I'm going to use to flavor this base of mine. You see that, how beautiful it looks? It's equally delicious. Okay, so we have some tomatoes, different kinds of tomatoes. We've got some herbs, we've got mixed herbs, some masalas here, we've got paneer, and then we've got Amul cheese. And I've used Amul cheese, this one, the processed cheese, because it grates really nicely and it's kind of melts beautifully in the oven. So so that's what I've done, and I'm gonna get this over. So this is our dish going to be. Let me get mixing bowls. Let me get the tart as well. Alright, so the first step हम क्या करेंगे, हम लेंगे regular quick cooking oats in a mixing bowl, and we're going to take our delicious butter, the herbed compound butter with olives and garlic. So you know, हर layer has to be flavored. ऐसा नहीं है कि एक चीज को आप flavor करोगे और दूसरे को नहीं. So this tart is equally important because it's the base of our deliciousness that goes on top. So you must flavor it. Now the Amul butter already has salt, so we would need to check before we start putting it in our dish कि इसमें salt चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए. And what holds this base together is the butter. So be generous with the butter. And जैसे हम लड्डू बनाते हैं, अपने हाथ में उसको लेके देखो कि वो is it coming together or not. So give me 1 second. Let me go wash my hands, and I'll ठीक है. So अब इसको हम अपने हैंड से मिक्स करेंगे to check the consistency and to spread the butter अच्छे से हर जगह पे. So काफ़ी easy है, ये oats भी आराम से मिल जाते हैं. आप अगर olives नहीं है तो garlic and कुछ फ्रेश हर्ब्स डाल सकते हो. मैंने एक बटर बनाया था डिल के साथ. आजकल डिल बहुत मिल रहा है, सोया, फ्रेश सोया, एंड आई कैनॉट टेल यू इतना फ्लेवरफुल वो बटर लगता है. सो हर्ब्स डाल सकते हैं, ड्राई या फ्रेश, टू मेक दीज वेरिएशंस. सो सी हाउ कैसे बाइंड हो गया बढ़िया से. सो इसको अब हम अपनी पाई ट्रे में डालेंगे. So here's my pie tray, and make sure you've got these spring ones so that इसका बेस आसानी से निकल जाए. And then drop that all इसके अंदर, and खूब अच्छे से इसको हमें पैट डाउन करना है. And then at this point, you know, you could take a spatula or a back of a कटोरी या ग्लास, एंड उसको ऐसे अच्छे से आप फ्लैटन आउट कर दो, इवनली स्प्रेड कर दो. Any questions? Anybody wanting to know anything? All good? Everyone can hear as well?
Yes.
All right. Well, good. So yeah, ये everyday ingredients हैं. इनको अगर हम थोड़े different रूप में सर्व कर सके तो इट जस्ट मेक्स इट बेटर. यू नो, सब लोग ओट्स खाते हैं, चीज खाते हैं, पनीर खाते हैं, लेकिन बोर हो जाते हैं वही सेम 4 तरीके की डिशेस खा के. सो दिस वाज समथिंग दैट केम अप. दिस एक्चुअली टेस्ट रियली वेल एज अ लंच आइटम, एज अ साइड डिश फॉर डिनर विद सैलेड, बिकॉज इसमें चीज है, पनीर है, प्रोटीन है, फाइबर है ओट्स में. So overall, it's got all your components of a good healthy dish. Of course, there's butter in it, but little bit of fat, I suppose, is okay. So आप इसको अच्छे से ऐसे साइडों में भी स्प्रेड कर लीजिए टाइट से। एंड देन इसको शेल को हम बेक करेंगे मे बी लाइक 7 मिनट्स 180 डिग्रीज पे। ओके, सो 5 to 7 मिनट्स इसको प्री बेक करेंगे। नाउ फॉर द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ टाइम, what I'm going to do is I've already pre-baked a shell for us to now do the next step. So I'll put this away. I'll just wash my hands. क्या बढ़िया मौसम हो रहा है दिल्ली में, यहाँ गुड़गांव में आज बारिश वाला बिल्कुल। ओके,
Can you just quickly repeat what you're making?
so I'm making a paneer and cheese savory tart. उसका बेस है ओट्स में हमने बाइंडिंग एजेंट डाला है हमारा कंपाउंड बटर जो हमने पहले बनाया है ऑलिव्स के साथ, एंड हमने उसको बेक करके रखा है। ये शेल ऑलरेडी, सो आई प्री बेक द शेल। सो नाउ द नेक्स्ट स्टेप इज गोइंग टू बी यही सेम बोल में, विदाउट वेस्टिंग एनी एक्स्ट्रा डिशेस, बिकॉज सबकी तंगी हो रही है आजकल बर्तन धोने की। सो इसमें हम लेंगे अबाउट 1 कप अमूल पनीर, उसको भी मैंने ग्रेट कर लिया है सो दैट इजीली मिक्स हो जाए। हियर इज अमूल चीज, सो अ लिटिल लेस देन 1 कप आई थिंक। Give that a mix. अब at this point you can use whatever herbs आपके घर में है, क्योंकि हमने olive and garlic लिया है, so I'm thinking maybe I should stay towards like Italian herbs, right? So that flavor sort of goes together. और मेरे पास यहाँ पे थोड़े से garlic and onion dry powder है, ये थोड़ा सा मिर्ची एंड कायन पेपर का मिक्सचर है, सो वो डाल दिया। अगेन इसमें आप जो मर्जी फ्लेवर्स डालिए एंड बी जेनरस इन टर्म्स ऑफ व्हाट फ्लेवर्स यू पुट इन दिस, बिकॉज दिस नीड्स टू हैव फ्लेवर फॉर इट टू टेस्ट रियली गुड, राइट? सो यू डोंट वांट दिस ब्लैंड सॉर्ट ऑफ. Now you could and you should probably add chili flakes because they taste absolutely delicious. But we've got a little one who doesn't eat मिर्ची, तो मैं आज मिर्ची अभी नहीं डालूंगी. एंड अब आइडियली इसमें मैं डालती पार्सली या बेजल, पर मेरे पास थोड़ा सा बेजल है और पार्सली बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. धनिया बहुत सारा है, सो यू नो व्हाट, विल मेक डू विद व्हाटएवर वी हैव एट दिस पॉइंट. सो इसमें फ्रेश धनिया डालेंगे and then you stir it up, give it a good mix. And because again cheese में salt होता है, तो make sure आप थोड़ा सा अपना टेस्ट करके देखें अगर इस फिलिंग में सॉल्ट की ज़रूरत है कि नहीं. मैंने जो सीजनिंग डाली है ये कायन पेपर वाली और गार्लिक वाली, उसमें थोड़ा सॉल्ट होता है प्लस विद द चीज़, तो मेरे को अब इसमें सॉल्ट डालने की ज़रूरत नहीं है.
One question.
Yes.
What is the size of the pie dish?
This I'm thinking probably is, I'm so bad at maths with these radiuses. 5, maybe like 8 inches. This probably is an 8-inch pie. Okay. So, okay. The next step now. ये बढ़िया सी जो हमने फिलिंग डाली है, मिक्स दैट अप. एंड यू नो दिस इज अ ग्रेट मेक अहेड डिश ऑल्सो. आप टार्ट को बेक करके रख लीजिए फ्रिज में एंड अपना मिक्सचर बना के फ्रिज में रख लीजिए, एंड व्हेन इट्स टाइम टू सर्व यू जस्ट नीड अबाउट 10 minutes टू पुट दिस टुगेदर. सो एवरीवनस ऑन क्रंच टाइम. कई दफ़ा एक दिन कुछ कम काम होता है एंड नेक्स्ट डे ज़्यादा होता है, तो अपने लिए लाइफ ईजी बनाने के लिए यू कैन मेक half of it and put it in the fridge and then bring it out, turn on the oven and get it going just before eating. So cause गर्मा गर्म ये चीज़ मेल्टी पनीर मेल्टेड खाने का मज़ा ही कुछ और है. So इसको अच्छे से आप शेल के अंदर ही रहने दीजिए ताकि बाहर नहीं आए आपकी ये फिलिंग. एंड मैं अब इसको बेक करूँगी 210 डिग्रीज फ़ारेनहाइट पे, क्योंकि हमें टाइम की कमी है तो इसीलिए मैं थोड़ा हाई टेम्परेचर पे इसको बेक करने रखूंगी. उसके बाद हम इनको टमेटोज एंड ऑलिव ऑयल के साथ गार्निश करेंगे. सो अब ये यमी डिश जारी है बेक होने, तब तक हम अवन हमारा रेडी है हमारे लिए and this goes in the oven for 10 minutes, okay, because that's what we have. अब हमारी next dish के लिए हम ready होते हैं. So I'm going to keep these tomatoes here for me because इसके ऊपर हम tomato garnish करेंगे and थोड़े से herbs garnish करेंगे. And then I'm going to take away my dishes for now and make room for my next dish जल्दी से. ये इधर और ये तो उससे भी easy dish है again. So let's go over. This is going to be a super healthy kind of a dessert. It's got oats, it's got hung yogurt, fruits of your choice, some nuts, some saffron, little bit of powdered sugar, इलायची and saffron को अच्छे से कूट के उसका पाउडर बनाया है. And tada! Look at that. That is our cinnamon and raisin butter. And ये कहाँ जाएगा? Any guesses? Anybody? किस में डालूंगी? Anyone listening? Okay, so ये जाएगा हमारे oats के base में. So just like how we made the oats base for our savory tart, we are going to do exactly the same for the sweet tart. We're going to take the oats and the butter and we're going to mix it. We're going to put it in our pie dish and we're going to bake the pie dish for 7 to 8 minutes at 180 degrees. Here you want कि आपका जो pie dish आप bake करोगे वो पूरा cool हो जाएगा for the next step to happen. ठीक है? So let me get a bowl to show you हमें इसमें क्या करना होगा. अच्छा, और एक और चीज, इसमें हम थोड़ा सा रोज वाटर या हम ऑरेंज ब्लॉसम लिक्विड भी डाल सकते हैं हमारे योगर्ट को फ्लेवर करने के लिए. सो हमारा बेस, रिमेंबर ऑलवेज एवरी लेयर हैज अ फ्लेवर. सो हियर वी गॉट द ओट्स and we've got our delicious Amul raisin and cinnamon butter जो हमने बनाया है. Scoop all of that out and then you give this a mix. You get yourself a pie dish and you lay it out. So अब मेरे पास और एक और pie dish नहीं है because तीनों pie dish use हो गई in this process. So I'll repeat it again. ये मिक्सचर अच्छे से मिक्स करके हमें पाई डिश में डाल देंगे और उसको हम बेक कर देंगे. एंड बाय द मैजिक ऑफ टेलीविजन, बाय द मैजिक ऑफ इंटरनेट, बाय द मैजिक ऑफ 2020, I already have a tart that's baked with the oats and cinnamon raisin butter. और हम क्या करेंगे, अपना थोड़ा यहाँ जगह बना लेते हैं. So first step, take the yogurt and you must flavor the yogurt, right? And endless possibilities. मैंने इसमें इलायची और saffron डाला है. इसके अंदर जाएगी powdered sugar because we want it to be a little sweet, otherwise it will just taste very bland. So थोड़ा सा अंदाजे से इसमें जाएगा ये powdered sugar और मेरा चम्मच. All right, and then इसके अंदर I am going to put a little bit of rose water. And then be careful because obviously we all know इसमें थोड़ा ही जाता है. Little goes a long way, and this just adds a delicious floral taste to everything. And then I'm going to add some orange blossom. ये बहुत ही beautiful smell देता है. So this is totally optional. ये दोनों चीजें optional है for you to do. Okay, so now I'm just going to mix this yogurt, and remember this is got to be hung yogurt. Okay, the normal yogurt पैकेट में से निकाल के नहीं चलेगा. आपको इसको थोड़ी देर मसलिन क्लॉथ में डाल के उसको हैंग करके रखना पड़ेगा so that it becomes this luscious looking thick frosting जैसे almost हो गया है देखो. And you mix that up really well. Okay, so again do a taste test to make sure the sugar is perfect in this or not. And again put that here. Give it a nice whisk and खूब अच्छे से इसको fluff it up, you know, अच्छे से give it a stir so it's nice and airy and fluffy. This is almost like having a breakfast, you know, because it's got oats, it's got yogurt, it's got fruits, but it's a dessert, so it's like super yum. And then very gently you spread this yogurt mixture on your pie, on your tart like that. For this I really need a spatula, I think, because it's picking up the base a little bit. Chota spatula khatam. Alright, so I'm gonna, so you know what, I'm gonna wet the spoon, the back of my spoon a little bit, because then that will help to spread the yogurt a little more easily. So this also is an easy dessert. आप इसका base already बना के रख सकते हैं, yogurt को ready करके रख सकते हैं with all the flavorings that you need in it, and serve करने से 10-15 आधा पौना घंटा पहले आप you just put it together. Look at that, the beautiful strand of cardamom and beautiful specks of cardamom, and then some saffron in there, and then you take your choice of fruits, whatever seasonal जो भी fruits है. Mango goes really well with this. You know, what else goes? Pineapple would be delicious also. Peaches आएंगे अभी, cherries आएंगी, cherries बहुत अच्छी लगेंगी इस पे. Kiwi सारा season मिलती है. We are quite lucky, so you know you can mix and match the fruits that you want to, and yeah, that looks good. And then I have some pistachio here. थोड़ा सा pistachio drizzle कर दीजिए for the crunch a little bit. Now in the base also you could add nuts to make the base even more healthy. Okay, I got these gorgeous dried rose buds from one of our travels, so I will take the effort to remind ourselves of the beautiful travels that we've had in the past, and make our dish look beautiful, because you know we always eat with our eyes before we actually eat it, so take the effort to sort of make it beautiful. These are edible dry roses, so इनको यहाँ ऐसे डाल दो. There we go. Yeah, so let me clear my station. Any questions, Dhruv, so far? Everyone's on track? All right.
One question from Neeti.
Yeah.
Can she use cornflakes instead of oats?
Absolutely, yes, that's a good substitute. If you don't have oats, cornflakes को अच्छे से चूरा करके butter में लाके, that's perfect. So that's our dessert. Now I'm going to show you how our compound butter looks. So here's the olives and garlic butter. फ्रिज में रेडी आप लोगों को दिखाने के लिए कितना अच्छा लगता है. Here's the cinnamon raisin butter. Look at that, how beautiful. You know, मैं बोल रही थी वो hotels में brunches पे जाओ तो ऐसे rounders मिलते हैं. So that's our cinnamon butter. That's that. And then let me get, ooh, lovely this is looking. Let me get the tart out, the paneer cheese tart. Look at that. Nicely done. under 7 minutes. अब इसको भी एक अच्छी प्लेट ज़रूरी चाहिए. So 1, 2, 3. All right. So and then you know what you do is when this is done, you take some tomatoes of choice and then इसको maybe 2-3 minute के लिए you put it back in the oven so that the tomatoes get a bit caramelized, cooked down rather, not caramelized but cooked down a little bit, and try to use like थोड़े different colors के tomatoes if you have to make the tart look pretty. If you have, if you don't, it doesn't matter. It's going to taste delicious either ways, right? And then थोड़े से cherry tomatoes. Now tell me, isn't this a beautiful dish or what? And this will go perfect with salad, like I said, for an easy brunch item or even an appetizer, a good decent appetizer.
Archana is asking, she doesn't have a spring foam pie dish.
Yeah.
So how do we demold?
Good question. Now that's when it gets actually tricky. See, in a regular cake pan, it's just, so you could do this. You could take parchment paper in a cake pan, right? And have an overlay of it. You could, so yeah, this, alright, you guys, we'll come back to this. That's a great question Archana has asked. Nothing is impossible, everything is possible. So you could take a regular cake pan, okay, line it with foil all the way and let it hang like till the end of the base or parchment paper, and then you go around putting your mixture, baking it just the way you need to, and jab ready ho jayega, so you can lift it up with the overlay, that overhang that you have of the parchment paper or the foil, and put it out and you're good to go. But make sure you do line it with maybe 2 or 3 layers of foil, because uthane mein the things are heavy, so they can just sort of fall off. So parchment paper if you use, make sure you've got 3 layers of it so that it's nice and sturdy, or foil, and that also has a good layer on it. So yeah, that's a great question. Anyone else has a question? Any doubts for anything? So we'll go over quickly. We've done the compound butter with cinnamon raisin. We've done compound butter with garlic and olives. Put it in a parchment paper, rolled it up like toffees, and then once it's set in the fridge, you cut it up like this. अब आप इसको use कर सकते हो in lots of variations. Like I said, like शुरू में, you could put it on toast. That's like the most basic and best way to use the compound butters. If you're making cakes, so उसके ऊपर ये crumble डालते हैं कई दफा oats and butter. So if you've got this cinnamon raisin butter ready, all you have to do is just take some oats, mix that up with the butter, and banana bread बना रहे हैं या blueberry muffins बना रहे हैं, उसके ऊपर a little oats and cinnamon का topping is absolutely divine. So this is easy, you can sort of use it in that respect. What else? Question?
Neeti has a question.
Yes.
When do we take it out from the baking tray? After cooling?
Take out what?
The pie?
This stuff?
The tart, yeah.
Yes, so wait for like 5 minutes so that it sort of comes together. Because it's got butter, it's going to be a little fragile. So wait for 5 minutes before you put it out onto a dish. Great question.
Sapna has a question.
Yes.
Are the oats roasted dry?
They're just dry, you don't need to roast them at all. They get roasted or baked in the oven, right? And these are quick cooking oats, the softer versions of the oats. So they don't need prior roasting at all. They taste absolutely delicious once they've been baked. That's why we pre-bake the shells for both of them. Yeah. This topping would go hot right away after the shell is baked. However, for our dessert, the tart has to the base has to completely cool down before you put your yogurt, because then it'll sort of get melty. So yeah, so here we've I think done justice to what Amul really has and what we love. The butter, we've used it in the tart, we've used it And then again, like I was saying, ये pasta, like if you just want a quick pasta, sometimes भूख लगी है, boil the pasta. You've got this butter, pan में डालो. This already has all the flavoring agents for you. Toss the pasta in, and sometimes you don't want veggies, you don't want protein, you just want carbs to enjoy with delicious butter, and you've got flavor in there. So that's the way you can use that. Steamed veggies, we often do that. There's another question.
Ziba has a question.
Yeah.
What is the temperature of oats tart for the baking?
So on an ideal condition, the base would bake at 180 degrees for 8 to 10 minutes. Then once we put our topping inside it and then we put it in the oven, then again it can go at 180 degrees for maybe 5 minutes. Because if you want to bake your tomatoes also, so then let the cheese and the paneer sort of get roasted on the top, pull it out, put your tomatoes, drizzle a little bit of olive oil, put it back in the oven for 3 minutes or 4 minutes till the tomatoes sort of cool, get a little bit wilted and cooked down a little bit. So in all, from the baking of the tart to the whole thing, probably 15 minutes and you're done. Yeah.
Munira.
For you guys, using our favorite Amul butter, we've made a compound butter with cinnamon and raisins, which you mix butter, cinnamon, sugar and raisin. You put it together in a parchment paper, roll it up, put it back in the fridge. We've made a savory compound butter with butter, olives, garlic, and I think I put in some dill in there, or parsley. No, dill, because there is no parsley in the house. So herbs are your choice. If you don't have fresh herbs, you can do dry herbs. Then we did a dessert, because a meal or a live session is never ever enough without having a dessert. So we've got an oats based dessert with some yogurt flavored with cardamom and saffron, and then we've got a savory tart here with an oats base with the compound butter that we made. And we've got some Amul cheese and Amul paneer whipped up with a few ingredients like spices and fresh herbs, and then you bake it and you top it and you can enjoy it. And I'm going to show you one quick tip here as well. So this is what I do to make my hung yogurt. So kal raat ko what I did was I got 2 dabbas of Amul Masti yogurt, and I took a clean muslin cloth and उसके अंदर मैंने योगर्ट डाल के यहाँ पे एक पोनीटेल बना दी so that it doesn't fall, and all the water gets collected. I think it's way here. So all of this gets collected, and you can see here the yogurt is like so thick and so delicious. So again, we've used it today for a sweet dish, but this Greek hung yogurt, Greek yogurt, can be flavored with spices and it tastes absolutely divine. So that's my hack for doing hung yogurt at home. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Yes, we've got another question. Yes.
Neeti is asking, can she use cornflakes and honey as a base?
Cornflakes and honey? Yes, you can, absolutely. But you need some fat so that the flakes can sort of stay together. So honey will bring the gooiness for it, but you might need really large quantities of it. But yeah, you absolutely can.
2 people are asking, Sunita and Pratibha, how long will the compound butter stay good for use?
The cinnamon raisin one probably will stay forever, but I guarantee you that it won't stay forever because you will end up eating it within a few days. But I'm sure this has got a long life because it's just got dry raisins and cinnamon and sugar and butter. So whereas the one with the olives and garlic and fresh herbs might be good for like 2 weeks max, because the herbs might start to get a little strange. That is if you use the fresh ones. But again, like I said, you make small batches and you make different flavors and keep them. 2 weeks तो कहीं नहीं गए, but clearly 2 हफ्ते रहने नहीं वाला है. So don't even worry about it. Is there another question? We've got a butter monster in our house who would like to come and say hi. Hi there. You say hi to everyone. And what are you here for? You tell me what you love. What do you love?
Butter.
Butter. Why do you love butter? How do you use it? How do you eat it?
I use it for my crunchy,
Yeah.
and for my dosa, and for my toast.
And for your toast. And do you know which one this is? You took a lick of that. What was this? The cinnamon?
Butter.
Yeah. Do you want to give it a try? And tell everyone how it is? Let me get your tiny spoon. Not a tiny spoon. Here. A spoon. And quickly tell, what do you think of it?
Yummy.
Yummy. Alright, so thank you. Oh, we've got another question. Yes.
Somebody has a comment on the table. Good sewing machine.
Yes, isn't it clever? We absolutely love this table. This is actually my son's study table. I love a conventional study table because the bigger it is, the more mess they put on it. And I just didn't want a square rectangle table. We saw this, fell in love with it. It's, you know, he's written his name all over here. He keeps doodling. But the good part is that, you know, it just adds character to it. It's just such a lovely table that I love to bring out when I do my cooking sessions and all. So thank you for appreciating that. I love it. Anything else? Anyone? Was there anyone else? No? Alright, so thank you so much. Thank you, Amul. Thank you all who took the time to be with us in this live session to see me cook. Like ramble, I think, because I was like blah 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 blah. But hopefully you got the gist of how to make this. If there are any questions, feel free to comment and I'll go through this tonight or tomorrow and answer if there are any questions. If you want more such delicious recipes, you can find me on Instagram. I post a whole lot of food. It's Rohini_T as in television_Chawla. I love to share what I cook with everyone and it gives me a lot of pleasure when I share recipes and when I hear back from you guys. So if you're looking for things like this, follow me, meet me at Instagram. Thank you, Amul.